Hanoi Jane. Yeah, she's still around. She did this little interview set with Harvard earth scientist Naomi Oreskes, in which she proposed the following in furtherance of saving our planet from climate change.
So I have a question also for you. I think that we have to remove the social license of the fossil fuel industry the way we did for tobacco. I mean, you wouldn't brag about dating a guy who ran tobacco companies, would you? And and the same is true for don't sleep with anybody that's involved. I'm trying to launch a boycott.
That's a new angle. Well, yeah. And we knew that. We know women have done that in the past during the abolition movement, right?
The Greeks, Lisa Strata, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. Exactly. I like that. We'll add that to our list of asks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cackling.
Naomi Oreskes is not easy on the eyes, and Jane Fonda is 140. So I'm not so sure that they're going to lead the charge for the withholding of relations. I don't know how much though. I mean, it's just so funny. I mean, it's really entertaining. This did we just do this a couple of years ago after with respect to violence in Chicago? With Chirac, with Spike Lee's movie Chirac, which was a modern day interpretation of Lisa Strata, which Fonda just mentioned, and it was this is how we're going to stop endemic violence in the city of Chicago. How's that going? They're just not serious people. They're silly people. And the latest eschatological hysteria over climate change, I mean, it continues unabated. And Steve Moore actually has a good piece over at his hotline newsletter from a Committee to Unleash Prosperity about why that is. Why that is? Because there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in it. And by the way, a lot of that money comes through private foundations, but a lot of it is coming through the Inflation Reduction Act, the Orwellian entitled Inflation Reduction Act. The People's Climate Movement. EPA awards $50 million to a group that says Palestine is a climate justice issue. So this is where, the roads intersect. This is a way to get your money to radical groups that will promote whatever's the radical issue du jour is. Is it, the alleged genocide in Israel? Is it to free Palestine? Okay, fine, we'll do that. Is it to ban fossil fuels and demand subsidies for EVs and windmills and so forth? Okay, fine, we'll do that. Just make sure you send the cash. And that's what fuels this, pun intended. For more on this, Steve Moore, economist, Govzilla author. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Hi.
So you had essentially put together the receipts with some help from Robert Bryce about the kind of money we're talking about, just to give some order of magnitude about how much financial incentive there is to continue to push this end of days agenda.
Yeah. So you both probably remember the famous speech that Dwight Eisenhower gave in his farewell speech when he said, "Beware the military-industrial economy." Remember that industrial complex? That was in 1960 when Eisenhower said that. Well, what I'm telling you is beware the climate change industrial complex, because it's probably even bigger now than the military-industrial complex. It is a green movement, folks. It is a green movement, but the green isn't for the environment. The green is all about greenbacks, dollars, money. This has become a multi-billion-dollar industry that is now flowing into this, not just from private foundations, but also massive. By the way, it may be $1 trillion industry right now globally. So, money. And I want to give you just one example, if I could. I don't know if either of you read the article in the Wall Street Journal this weekend about the Rockefeller heirs. Did you read that one, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where did John D. Rockefeller? where does his money come from? Oh yeah, he was the
Fossil fuels.
started Standard Oil. He was the man who built this country. He was the one, with some of the other quote robber barons who built the country in the turn of the last century. And so now you've got these I think they're great or great grandchildren of John D. Rockefeller with his money, with his, many of them are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, are using that money to destroy the very oil industry where their money came from in the first place. And as I said, without, titans like John D. Rockefeller, America would not have developed. These people are so insane. They want to take away all fossil fuels, including Jane Fonda, by the way. Guess what? Do you know what percentage of our energy today, that keeps the lights on, that keeps our cars, on the road, that keeps our hospitals and schools open? Over 70% of our energy comes from the evil fossil fuels, Dan and Amy. What are these people trying to do? Destroy our country?
Well,
The Rockefeller Brothers Fund, $838 million. To your point, number one with a bullet in the anti-industry list. It's remarkable. It really is. But it's the old story. I mean, it's conquest law. Any organization that is not explicitly conservative will over time become liberal, which is why, like John M. Olin, for example, had a sunset date on his foundation because he knew generation after generation, particularly where this country is going, I'm gonna be financing. My legacy will be to my name associated with financing things I abhor.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with look at Abigail Disney. Walt Disney's his granddaughter. She's just a left-wing crazy, and Walt Disney was for wholesome, pro-family. He was a conservative. He's a Reagan guy. And so you're right. All of this money is now filtered down to the great grandchildren who know nothing about ever creating anything. They inherited their wealth and they use it all to destroy the American economy. Now, by the way, in Europe, Europe's pretty crazy on climate change, but they've been about 10 years ahead of us on all the green energy stuff. Well, guess what? Europe has realized none of this stuff works. You can't build an industrial economy with windmills and solar panels. I mean, it doesn't work. And so the Europeans are starting to say, enough already with this stuff. We've got to be able to have jobs. We've got to be able to, have transportation. We've got to have industry. And so why is it that anything, the green movement seems to be picking up momentum?
No, wait a minute. Biden has just spent $7.5 billion to invest in those EV charging stations, with producing 7 in 2 years. I mean, that is progress.
No, I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. And there's a great interview with Pete Buttigieg this weekend, I think with CBS, and he's touting this great new program we've created, $7 billion, thanks to Joe Biden and the Democrats. And then, I have to give the interviewer credit. She said, well, how many of those have actually been built? 7.
7. Yeah. Real progress there. Go, government, go.
If my math is correct, and I did go to public schools, that's $1 billion
per charger station. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got
jobs created
right.
too.
So
Yeah.
you got 7 down. You got 499,000
To go,
993 to go over the next 5 years.
And
Fine.
And in the interview, Buttigieg said, "We're making great progress."
Yeah, great progress. No, it's right on schedule. It's absolutely. We are churning them out. Speaking of flailing businesses, I saw also in your newsletter. I actually saw it elsewhere, but the Amazon Post, Bezos' outfit. That's the one thing he can't make money on is left-wing propaganda. Washington Post lost $80 million last year. Gee, I hope it doesn't go away.
Yeah. So this is a big story about what's happening in the media. So if you look at the big, traditional news outlets and legacy outlets, and the ones that have really been huge in the whole history of the news and media business. If you look at the Washington Post, lost money. New York Times lost money. CNN
and they lost, and the Amazon Post lost half its readers, which is
and now
right.
half its readers are gone. And CNN has literally thousands of viewers now. So the point is, these billionaires like Bezos and and others have bought these legacy news outlets, and nobody is watching them. No one's paying attention, and they're losing money. And then they say, well, the news media. But guess what? Fox makes money. So there's no law that says that the media has to lose money. It's just that they've turned so far to the left that people are just turning them off and turning them out. And, as you said, Dan, it couldn't happen to a nicer group of people.
Well, and what will come is what you've seen come at places like, Illinois, which is the state will formalize a relationship and just fund their preferred media outlets directly. That's what's going to happen.
By the way, Dan, I don't remember whether it was you or Amy who sent me that note about the fact that the state legislators, passed the biggest, fattest budget in Illinois history and an $800 million tax increase, and then they had the gall to actually give themselves a pay raise.
Yeah, for all their hard work.
Yeah, Governor Pritzker's keeping his promise to raise our taxes.
It's hard work.
It's not just hard work. It's pay for performance, right? They've done such a wonderful job.
But $971 million, almost $1 billion, are going to fund the migrants, the illegals that are here.
Oh my God! I mean, it's just. I mean, how do you people reelect these people? Now, I know we're right on time. I want to give you guys a flash headline that you may not have heard because it's just happened literally a few hours ago. Did you guys see what happened in Texas last night?
You're talking about the primary with Tony Gonzalez?
School choice.
School choice. Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about a good governor, not an idiot governor like you have in Illinois.
Yeah.
Greg Abbott ran roughly 20 challengers against incumbent Republicans who were not in favor of school choice and giving parents choice where they're sending their kids to school. He won and a bunch of them went to runoffs that were held last night. He won 7 out of 8 of the primary challenges. They've taken out something like 17 incumbent Republicans, and now they have the votes to pass school choice. Are you getting anywhere close to that in Illinois?
Yeah, right. What Republican Party? But no, you're right. That is a huge story, and good for Greg Abbott for being willing to exercise some discipline within the party.
By the way, you're going to love this one, Dan. I mean, Dan and Amy, so the media was all over this story for the last 3 weeks. Oh, all this big, dark money is coming into the Texas, from these city slickers, blah, blah, blah. They don't even live in Texas. But they didn't mention that the biggest spender in these races, of course, was who do you think
Teachers
spent
Union.
the most money in
Teachers Union.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah,
but that's
of course.
not outside money. That's not special interest money.
Yeah, Randy Weingarten and making it rain from D.C. No, that's not special interest money. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, by the way, Steve, you're coming to town. You're going to be speaking at the Northwest Suburban Republican Lincoln Day dinner thing.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I think all 7 Republicans are going to be there.
Exactly.
Wow, Annie Ramone.
No, I'm just teasing. I know they have.
What coffee shop are you going to have it at? Yeah, what?
but I mean, come on. When the 3 of us were growing up in Illinois, it wasn't like this. I mean, you actually had competitive parties, and I don't know. I mean, it's sort of sad to see that. It's almost like you hurt me more. Come on, hit me again.
Well, you may want to talk to some of those Republicans and tell them the Greg Abbott story, because it turns out very much like the exchange between Steve Martin and John Candy in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The good storyteller is the storyteller that has a point. The good political party
right.
is the political party that has a point, and the Illinois Republican Party doesn't have a point.
Yeah, that would help.
Yes.
It's important when you're the minority to party to paint with bright colors and differentiate yourself from the other party, and they don't do that.
No, they throw in. That's been the problem. All right, Steve. Well, great news out of Texas. Thank you for reminding us, and we'll see. What's the date? It's like the 3rd week of June or something. You know, for your yeah.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I'm excited, folks, and we're gonna.
All right, we'll get the date out there for you.
You know what, Dan?
We'll promote it.
We're gonna turn Illinois red.
All right, take it easy and get a hold of yourself. All right, Steve. Thanks as always. Appreciate it.
You guys. Bye.
Right after New York, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Parents, grandparents, you might want to be sitting down because